This is my review of Rosemary's Baby. Rosemary's Baby is about this woman who's in a stable marriage, I would say, and this is their journey of having a baby. But what would you do if your baby was the devil? Rosemary seems like the kind of character where she's kind of quite oblivious to things at first. She doesn't really seem to know what's happening. But once she starts realizing something is a bit weird, once she gets pregnant, she seems to know more than the audience actually does. We kind of have to follow through her mind what's going on. It is slightly confusing to kind of understand at first what's actually going on, because you don't really look at it and think, okay, this is definitely what's happened. It's kind of a bit like right at the end, you don't actually even see the baby. So it kind of just leaves you thinking, does she actually raise the baby? Does she not? That's definitely something that the film kind of leaves you hanging a bit. It also brings back this idea of innocence versus evil. There is an older woman in the film, and she comes across quite happy and nice, but in reality she's very evil and sinister, and they use this music that's kind of eerie at moments when things start to go downhill. And it's kind of this idea of this woman having no idea that this old lady actually the reason behind her going through all this pain and agony at the start. And she does finally fulfill it, kind of makes you think, is this baby going to take over, or is she going to be in control? The woman seems very calm and happy in this scene here. She kind of feels that she's finally found the truth, and this other doctor is actually going to help her. But really, we know that because of her husband, things aren't going to stay that way. This thing about innocence and evil, it's kind of like the people you thought were going to help you are actually the people that are not helping you at all. Throughout the whole thing, you believe that these two people are very innocent, and you wouldn't think that they would be the kind of people that would do seances and be in a cult. And they use quite a lot of over-the-shoulder shots to show power in situations, and the film kind of shows off this idea of using that to kind of make you understand how somebody you would usually expect to be above you is really someone who is helping towards the issue. A lot of this time, the main character, Rosemary, is very pale and has fair skin, which is a very traditional element that you see in horror. You usually see them kind of going through this kind of mask kind of unfolding. It's like the paler she got, the more saner she got, if that makes sense. It's kind of like it took her to be stripped back to kind of realize what was actually happening, what was actually going on. In the film, they use props of like cups, and when she's drinking it, she doesn't realize that this drink is actually controlling her. And I kind of like that element of control in horror. That's definitely something that would be really good in our trailer, to kind of grasp on one idea and kind of have that as the main focus throughout. That is something that definitely I found out from watching Rosemary's Baby. They use a lot of things like needles and that was something else that controlled her. In Rosemary's Baby at the end, you don't actually see the eyes of the baby, and this is a picture from a more recent updated version in 2014 about the story as well. Rosemary's Baby is also the name, and they actually show the baby's eyes. So this is what the baby actually looked like, and it kind of makes you think that now this is the more modern interpretation of what Rosemary's Baby would look like. It kind of makes you imagine how more comical kind of it would be back then, because if they were to have shown it, it wouldn't have been as realistic as actually having a baby. It probably would have been something a lot different. That's definitely what this kind of image shows. And it definitely shows that this idea of having a white family wasn't exactly the image that the more current version of Rosemary's Baby is showing, as the couple are black and white. Throughout Rosemary's Baby, you see a lot of themes like religion, witchcraft, power, and I would say the husband is symbolic of greed, because he literally gave up his soul so that he could be successful and so that he could get what he wanted. And although he did believe that his wife wouldn't ever get hurt, it was this idea of him actually believing that that was okay. That was definitely something I saw throughout. Overall, Rosemary's Baby showed me a variation of things. It definitely made me see how we could add that danger element throughout. That's definitely something it showed me. So I kind of hope that this kind of shows what I kind of thought of Rosemary's Baby. I hope it kind of captures what I was trying to say. It definitely gave us this idea of morality. What would you do in that situation? And to be honest, I wouldn't know unless I was really in it. I would say one thing, but I know in reality that's probably not what would happen. And the style of the whole film's very old-fashioned, very dated, definitely something that you wouldn't really see as much in horror today. So that's definitely something that the more current Rosemary's Baby might be more suitable in seeing, because that is a more modern approach on the story. So that is my review on Rosemary's Baby.